Hello, Ben, and welcome to our counseling session.
Hello.
Do you mind if I take notes today while you speak?
Don't mind at all.
Okay. What would you like to discuss today in your counseling session?
Well, I'm kind of going through a bit of a difficult time. I was working for Lansco and just recently was laid off. I've been there for almost 10 years. I started out just in the stock room and I've worked my way up and been really successful there. But unfortunately, there's a rumor started, several months ago that the company might be about to experience a folding of sorts, and they may go out of business, but I didn't really believe it. And what ended up happening was I ended up getting laid off, and that's kind of a serious bind for me. I'm still got a young family. My wife, I'm married. I have a child in middle school. That depends on my income, not only that, but the health care that my job provided. I have, a small amount of savings that's really related to my retirement. It was like $30,000. Now, the good news is that there are companies hiring
That sounds good.
But the bad news is I only have a high school degree, and to attain the job that I would need to get at the level that I was at when I left, which was a district manager, it requires a college degree.
Now, could you work your way up in any of those companies with your current degree?
Well, I think they require college education for, management level position. And so it'd be difficult. I would have to go back to school while working, which I'm not even sure is entirely possible.
Why couldn't you do that? They have online programs, they have evening and weekend programs, don't they?
I guess so. I guess ultimately I'm just been depressed and having a hard time getting motivated to do much.
Well, that's understandable with the situation. I'd like to work on that some today if you don't care.
Okay, I appreciate it.
What else is going on in your life right now?
Well, it's kind of a bit of a crisis that's affected, on down the line, even into my family. My wife and I are, experiencing some difficulty. I just imagine the amount of stress has been difficult on her, and I'm sure I'm not easy to live with right now.
What makes you say that?
Well, I had so much of my identity invested in what I did for a living. I really loved my job. I took a lot of pride in that. And, it just feels like a part of me is gone, I don't feel like the same person anymore, because I, invested a lot in my job. It made me feel accomplished, made me feel like I, had something to do, and it's been difficult. I don't even think I've been as good of a father as I should be. So, that's probably also adding to my depression.
How long have you been off work?
3 months.
3 months?
Mm-hmm.
And what makes you say that you're not being as good of a father as you'd like to be?
Well, I guess it goes back to just a lack of motivation. I really don't feel like doing much. I haven't even really applied for any positions to speak of. So I guess just a disinterest and apathy right now. I'm going through, I guess, I've never experienced depression like this. I guess that's what it is.
Okay. What is your overall goal to accomplish in therapy?
Well, ultimately, I guess, realistically, I would like to gain some motivation,
So kind of reduce the depression?
Yeah, and then maybe some coping issues, maybe, openly talk about some of the relationship issues I'm having with my wife and get those out, and, I guess overall just be easier to get along with and motivated to get out and work.
Okay. What has your wife been saying about what's going on?
She remains fairly positive, except for the fact that she really is adamant about me getting up and getting out and doing some things, and I just don't think she understands how difficult this is for me.
So if roles were reversed and you were her and she was you in the same situation, would you feel that it was appropriate for her to pull herself up by her bootstraps and get a job? If it came to helping your family?
I suppose so. You know, we both have a responsibility to raise our son, so, you know.
It's a little bit of a role reversal we just used, and you said having a responsibility to raise your son, would you like to do a little better than that? You said you weren't where you used to be.
Well, you know, I used to volunteer, you know, with his t-ball and get out and play catch a lot. And, you know, I'm not even doing as much of that lately, so.
I think that you set some pretty good goals right there, maybe to reduce your depression, build some coping skills, work on some relationships in your life. And you'd like to work on a relationship with both your wife and your son?
Yes.
Yeah. So what are some things your wife's been saying to you?
Well, like for example, this morning she wanted me to go to the career development office, the unemployment office as I call it, but to put in applications, you know, for some jobs that she had read about in the paper. And just to be honest, I didn't feel like it. I took a nap instead, and she was not happy.
So you didn't go at all?
No, I didn't.
Was she more disappointed or more upset?
Well, I think a little of both. I think that she's fearful of, you know, where we're going to be financially when what little bit of savings we do have runs out. She's not all entirely forceful and bad. She's just, she really wants me to get out and work.
Do you think that she could be doing this not only caring about financial reasons, but caring about your well-being? Because you said it yourself, you felt depressed since you're not working, you've lost part of your identity. Maybe she wants to help you get back out there.
I'd say that's possible. It's
possible.
Hard to see in the moment.
Maybe it's fair to say, more than possible.
Yeah, it's just hard to see in the moment, I suppose. And things can get pretty heated when I feel criticized.
Have you talked openly about how she's making you feel with her?
It's not my strong suit, talking about my feelings. It's definitely not something that I'm very proficient at, so I don't suppose I do say much about that.
How are you with writing things down?
I can do that. I mean,
You can do that, maybe. Would she be accepting of you passing a note of what is going on with you?
I think so. I mean, my wife's always been understanding. It's just the stress of this, so I do believe she would.
Okay. Well, would you like to make that an action you're going to take this next week? Maybe write some stuff down and give it to her?
I said, yeah, I could do that.
Okay. Have you thought about maybe taking some action to doing things with your son?
Yeah, I need to do that.
What are some actions you could take?
Well, every evening he does ask me to go out and play catch. So definitely, I can do that.
Did you play sports growing up?
I did. I played baseball and some basketball.
Does he play basketball too, or is it more just baseball?
He plays both.
Plays both?
Mm-hmm.
Which one does he like more?
I think he likes baseball more.
Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And you had mentioned in your previous session that you played all the way up through college. Is that true?
That's true, yes.
It escapes me. What position did you play?
I was a catcher.
You were a catcher?
Mm-hmm.
What position does your son play?
He plays a little bit of catcher, but primarily right now he's in the outfield. It's just little league, so they don't really take it real super serious yet.
Mm-hmm. It's like your eyes light up a little bit when you started talking about baseball. Is it something you're passionate about?
Yeah, I'd say that's something that's fair to say. I enjoy baseball a lot.
Have you ever offered to help with his team any?
Yeah, I used to do that. I used to, work would keep me from being able to, be the head coach or anything like that. But definitely I would get out during their practices and help them do some drills and different things. It's not something, I'm ashamed to say, it's not something I've done as often recently.
Where you're off work right now, you've been off for 3 months. Are they in season right now?
Mm-hmm, they're playing right now, sure.
Do you think maybe you could go help the other dads practice?
Yeah, I could definitely do that.
Is that something you'd like to do, or is it something you're just agreeing with?
No, it's something that I'd have to maybe force myself to do initially, just because I do feel so downtrodden, and but I'm sure that it would help.
Sometimes you just gotta make the first step, and it's one of the best decisions of your life.
I think that would probably be good.
And then, are you currently drawing unemployment right now, or are you just living off your savings?
Well, you can draw unemployment for 6 months, so it's only 80% of what I made, so it amounts to a check of $400 a week. So it's not enough to do, to contribute in the way that I did, but we're getting by right now.
That's good. So, there's some actions I want you to take this week besides talking with your wife or writing things down and helping your little boy with baseball, because it's something you seem to really enjoy talking about, and I think you'd like to get back into it. Maybe work with your wife on going down to the unemployment office, as you called it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to apply for those jobs. I suppose maybe a budget, I could figure some things out by budgeting our money and try to determine, exactly how. I know we're going to be short against some of our bills. Try to determine exactly how short we would be, and then maybe look at hypothetically if I could go back to school, what that would set us back, and what scholarships or plans are out there that might make that financially more affordable.
Have you ever looked into vocational rehabilitation? I know they help pay for school.
Nope, I can't say that I have.
They have that down at the unemployment office.
Okay.
It's right next door. They have some good programs. They help pay for school. They help pay for books.
Okay. There's probably a lot of that I haven't looked into, but that would be something that I would appreciate the heads up on that.
Seems like you have a lot of goals for the next week and some actions you're going to take. Do you think you can comply with those?
All I know is I'll do my best. It seems like a lot of times lately I intend to do certain things when the day begins, and then I get to feeling bad, or and then some things don't get done. But I can put forth a better effort.
Now, there's some great coping mechanisms we can use. Would you like to hear about those?
Sure.
So, do you like to write any?
Yeah, I can write, but I'm sure I enjoy it.
Well, just do me a favor and let's journal your feelings for the next week. Can you do that for me?
Sure, I'll try to do that.
Okay, and that's something I'd really like you to bring in, and we can kind of go over it and discuss it the next session.
Okay.
And then, have you tried meditating?
I don't really believe in meditation, but I am a Christian, and I do believe in prayer.
Okay. Have you been praying about this issue?
No, not as much as I should, I'm ashamed to say.
Okay. I don't force religion on anybody. It's totally your choice, and if you wish to discuss it, we can discuss it.
Okay.
Is it something you'd like to discuss in here?
Yeah, I don't mind to talk openly about, my faith.
Okay. Do you believe that your God can help you when you're struggling?
Without question, yeah.
Okay. So, you said you're having a really difficult time, correct? What are some things that you can do?
Well, I think you've had some good ideas, I think that I'm going to have to manage my relationship with my wife better, because that's stressing me out on top of everything else, and I rely on her as a support system, and she tries to be that, but it would be easier for her to do if she understood where I was coming from.
Okay. Would you like to role play that situation, some things that can come up?
Sure. Okay.
So, in this situation, I'm your wife and you're you.
Okay.
Ben,
Mhm.
I asked you to go down to the unemployment office today, and I see that you didn't. Why didn't you go?
I just didn't feel like it today. I don't know. I don't really have a good excuse. I'm sorry.
Well, you know this is very important to me, and it kind of hurts my feelings that you didn't go today when it's the only thing I asked you for.
I'm sorry.
You think you can go tomorrow for me?
Yeah.
How did that make you feel in that situation?
I don't know. I feel embarrassed.
You feel embarrassed?
That I didn't go. I know that I should go.
Okay, if you know you should go, and you know that it's bothering your wife, and that in turn bothers you.
Mhm.
So, goal number one,
Mhm.
go down to that office tomorrow and put in as many applications as you can.
Okay, I'll do that.
So, ones that you know you qualify for, some that it's iffy for qualifying for, maybe even check on ones that are experience based instead of education based, because they have those out there as well.
I can do that.
Okay. You want to play a situation between you and your son?
That's fine.
Okay. Dad, why don't we go out and play ball?
Well, lately I've been saying, when Dad's got some other stuff on his mind right now. Can you just throw the tennis ball up against the garage?
Dad, I've been doing that every day this week.
Well, okay. I guess I see your point. I'll do it.
Do you think it would be best to tell your middle school age son, well, I see your point, or, okay, buddy, let's go?
I guess I was talking to you
You're
instead.
talking to your son this time.
I broke character. But I get it. I think I understand where you're going with that. I believe that what's going on with me is a little bit like what you said earlier. I just need to, find the initiative to take the first step. And a lot of this stuff will start to get better. I'm not putting a lot of, that effort into it. So.
So we have about 3 minutes left in your session.
Mm-hmm.
Today you told me you were having a difficult time with getting laid off from your job. You've been at Landsco for 10 years, so you said you're having some difficulties with your self-worth and your self-initiative.
Mm-hmm.
You have showed some really good initiative in the past. You said you worked your way up from the stock room to, what was your last position?
I was the district manager.
So you were really far up in that company, weren't you?
Mm-hmm. Done really well.
You said you need a degree to get a job in the field that you're accustomed to.
That'd be my preference, but I'd take anything that helped me to support my family.
And then you said you're having some marital issues with your wife,
Mm-hmm.
and you're having some issues with going out and playing with your son and just being the dad that you really want to be and that you were.
That's right.
Okay. And you've been off work for 3 months and haven't applied for any positions yet.
Not formally, no.
Okay. Just for the grapevine, trying to ask people. Or
Asking around, yeah.
asking around. Okay. You said you're dealing with depression and any anxiety you're having problems with, or just mainly depression?
No, it's an anxious time. We're not making ends meet with the bills and things, so yeah, definitely anxiety.
Okay. And your overall goals were to reduce your depression, build some coping skills, and work on your relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And your homework for this week, because we're going to have homework. This is a two-way street. If I put in the work, you got to put in the work.
Okay.
So you're going to go put in job applications.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to try to communicate more effectively with your wife. And you're going to go out there and be the best dad you can be.
Okay.
And then you get to do it something you love. You love baseball. You can connect with your son on that.
Okay. And you said something about a journal as well.
Yeah, and you're going to journal your thoughts and feelings for the next week and bring it in your next session.
Okay.
So when would you like to come back?
Well, my schedule's pretty open right now, as you can imagine.
Okay. You want to set it for 1 week out?
That'd be fine.
1 week at, let me see, I have a 2, a 3, and a 4 open.
Let's try 2.
2 o'clock?
Okay.
1 week at 2 o'clock. And I thank you very much for coming in today. If you need anything else, call my office and we get you scheduled back sooner.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.